So we're running back this Esper Goryo deck again here with some updates. I trimmed some of the cute stuff and basically cleaned up to 4 of. So we turned the Glass Crystal Brand into an Obzedat. The biggest change probably is we turned the Street Wraiths into Ops. So we still have 8 cantrips. And I turned the Inquisitions into Thoughtseize. So basically I turned one cantrip that cost us life into one that doesn't, and I turned a discard spell that didn't cost us life into one that did. So we have a similar amount of ways to deal damage to ourselves. I also cut the Field of Runes and just added a fetch land and a shock land, just because I really like having good mana. And we're up to 4 bridges in the sideboard. So I think this card's really good in this deck. Oh, that's rough. Was this yesterday? I don't know. We played this recently. It was yesterday or the day before. It might have been yesterday. All the leagues kind of blur together after a while. I remember generically which decks we've kind of played in places, but not really when they got played. No, this one definitely wasn't yesterday, because yesterday was, we just played 2 decks. We played Blue Red Tempo and Blue Black Fairies. This is definitely 2 days ago or more. Gregor the Nerd, thank you for the 5-month subscription. Decks like this are why I'm subbed. Well, fantastic. Glad to hear it. And yeah, Gator, there is some tension between... there's tension between Obzedat and Death Shadow, but I can compare that that kind of tension really to Delve Creatures and Snapcaster Mage, right? It is, Mark. It is. So it'll be up second today. Just because those 2 things are kind of awkward together doesn't mean it's strictly incorrect to play them together, because they're just individually powerful things, right? And while they would be awkward if you try to do them both at the same time, because they're both powerful, if you're doing one, you can choose to wait to do the other, right? The Panza match with Blue Red Tempo was a fantastic match of Magic. You are not wrong. Steam Vents. I'm just going to shock in Godless Shrine. Potentially get ourselves a little bit low. Digital Forensics. I did ping Discord. A little bit of Ghost Dad in my life. We got Jace here. Even if this dies, Goryo's Vengeance means we're gonna get him back at some point, most likely. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy not playing Click. I definitely think that Nimble Obstructionist is better in the 3-drop slot, and honestly, the Soul Scar Mages I think are pretty great. They've worked to solve 2 issues the deck can have on occasion, which I think makes them just a good deck building inclusion. We'll get Blood Moon here in half a second and just tilt off the face of the planet. Probably play the Marsh Flats next turn to attempt to play around Blood Moon a hair, but it's not going to be a good scene if it happens. Oh, Storm. Okay. Hand is a little bit worse against Storm than I would like. Let's see if we can fix that. It probably needs more reps. I don't know. I'm gonna play it moving forward, Gator, but I definitely wouldn't mind playing more games with it, if that makes sense. My gut says it's probably good, but I definitely, I've only played it in 1 league. If I were to play a tournament this weekend, I would play the Lighthouse. Oh no! Oh no, I Thought Scoured my planes. Although I guess we decided they're probably Storm, right? So Thought Scouring planes less of a big deal. Yeah, Jace is decent. We'll get to loot with him again next turn. And then if we miss on a discard spell again. We'll probably flashback Opt, digging for one. We really need to put a clock or get some disruption going. Their draw's like pretty miserable though. Start with this and see where we go from here. Maybe I was supposed to ditch the Lingering Souls. Collective Brutality is a sweet one. Yeah, I can just ditch the souls to that. I like Storm in Modern. It's fine. Like I always say, it's like hard for a deck that has like linear turn 3 draws with some consistency to be truly bad. I think if you enjoy playing Storm, it is a fine deck to be playing. I don't think it is a deck that I would like heavily recommend to anybody new getting into Modern. I think if it tickles your fancy to play this style of deck, it is a fine style of deck to play. However, if this type of deck isn't something that you really like love playing, I don't know that I would recommend it. I don't think I would recommend it on pure power level. It's not like Humans or Hallowed One or something like that, but it's competitive. Going on Arkham. Yeah, I think someone mentioned yesterday, is it Independence Day in Brazil, or am I making that up? At any rate, hope you enjoy your holiday. What I want to take here, double gifts kind of sucks for us. I think I'm just taking a gifts. I think I'm just taking a gifts, and then like next turn we'll flash back the Brutality with Jace. I think that's the line. Google agrees that it is Independence Day. Well, happy Independence Day if you're in Brazil. Hope you have a good Friday and a good weekend. So like the problem is double gifts ungiven is gonna like replenish the rituals, right? I think like the opponent's deck has so many pieces of mana in it, like hoping to screw them out of mana seems like an optimistic line. How am I in people playing jank? I think there's a lot of objectively powerful things you can be doing in interesting combinations of cards. I think shoving a bunch of like 4, 5, and 6 mana cards into your modern deck is nonsense, but like there's a lot of interesting combinations of cards you can do past that. Grave Titan deck. Thank you for the support, Bionic. As a heads up, Bionic, that deck has a, if you look at the notes section, it has a special request from the person who donated to it that I need to play it on exactly October 5th. So I have agreed to that, and that deck will not be happening before that point. So if you'd like to cheer to bump something else, you're welcome to do that. I always appreciate the bits. But the Grave Titan deck will not be happening before October 5th. Well, I mean, it's not even just about shoving expensive cards in the deck for the sake of it. I think a lot of the times people build decks and, like, they kind of have a plan for these expensive cards, but their plan is just, like, too slow and cumbersome for, like, how efficient and brutal Modern is. Like, I feel like a lot of people that try to brew in Modern, like, are picturing the format in this. So this is a fun interaction. So unlike Flashback or Snapcaster Mage, which gives Flashback, when they unsubstantiate Collective Brutality that was cast with Jace Telepath Unbound, it goes back to my hand. So they simply cost us 2 mana here. So they probably didn't realize that interaction and probably thought they were going to get rid of my Collective Brutality permanently. So it's a little bit of a getcha moment there for the opponent. No worries, Bionic. I appreciate the support. SCG Funds lining up nicely. Have you seen the 3-land Belcher deck? I've not. As always, you are welcome to submit decks you'd like me to consider playing through the forum below the link, the forum below the stream. Just keep in mind we are currently in a queue slow, so it is more expensive to add decks at the moment. $50 donations or tier 3 subs, dealer's choice. Man, are we dead? I think we might be dead, chat. Yeah, we've played Black Devotion on stream a couple of times before. Always feels a little bit too slow. This did not already have ops. Yeah, we made a few changes from the last time we played this deck. Alright, so they have Past in Flames plus Noxious Revival here. I don't actually know that we're dead, right? Like, this Manamorphose probably needs to hit a mana creature, and even then we might be okay. Carter with the $20 donation. Thank you for that. For SCG Con, thank you for the great content. I've learned so much since discovering your stream. I recently started working from home, and I play your stream in the background every chance I can. Well, thank you for the support. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thanks for sending me to SCG Con. Yeah, this is sweet. So they're kind of now we need to actually like get a clock going though, right? We're a fetch land away or a Thoughtseize away from Death Shadow being live. It's really unfortunate we haven't flipped over a thing yet. Yeah, they are bricking. Need a ghost stat. Honestly, I wonder if I'm supposed to just Thought Scour myself here with Jace. If I downtick the Jace, oh, I could downtick the Jace, target Collective Brutality them. Am I getting grape shotted? Did they work their way into it? Because I got myself to 14. I think they might have worked their way into it. Yeah, they're one spell away, so grape shot is lethal. Tilt. Man. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Awesome, Bandit. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I like that deck a lot. Alright, so these Lingering Souls are probably too slow here. Hey, Remicide, thank you for the 4-month resubscription there. I appreciate that. Welcome. Worth noting there that my decision to be aggressive with our health total to try and work towards the Death Shadow in our hand kind of cost us that game, right? Like, if I hadn't been fetch shocking to try and enable the Death Shadow, I likely would not have been in a position to die to that natural grape shot there. These were my thoughts on possible changes. Definitely not Chris. So I swapped Street Wraith to Opt, and I swapped Inquisition to Thoughtseize, which costs a little bit more mana, but it keeps the amount of health total you're like losing the same. What do I want to trim here? Trimming some amount of Vryn's Prodigy might be okay. I don't know, like, Jace is like our primary Discord outlet, so like Jace is like one of our best ways to get Obzedat going quickly. Maybe it's like trim and Jace and 2 cantrips here. I hate that. Like Jason 2 ops. Seems fine. Usually if you're like looking at your deck and you're like, I like all these cards in my deck, you want to like trim some. Is Death Shadow where we want to be here? I think so. I need to like actually kill my opponent. And like, I'm not always going to have Obzedat. It's not strictly awkward giving them lands for dorks, and like, I don't have a ton of disruption outside of Path to Exile, and, like, you need to take the dorks off the table. It's not strictly a numbo. You don't have to blink Obzedat. Obzedat's blink is optional, and, like, Storm's not really blocking, so, like, leaving Obzedat in play while you have Stubborn Denial is fine, I think. You, like, go from a 7 damage clock to a 5 damage clock, but, like, that's still pretty quick. Yeah, I agree with that assessment, Thoughtseized. 3 claim, some Thragtusk, some Thoughtnuts here. As always, you can find my preferred Tron list on my website, jeffhoagland.com/decklist. So, this hand's, like, a little awkward because it's got double Obzedat in it, but I've got a Tasigur on turn 2, and I've got potentially a pretty fast Death Shadow, so I'm definitely going to keep this. So, one of the questions people often ask is, like, why play Tasigur over Gurmagingler, and Gurmagingler has an extra point of power. This opener is actually a perfect example of why you want to play probably 2 Tasigur before you even consider Gurmagingler. The downside to Tasigur is that he's legendary. The upside is that fetch land, second land Thought Scour lets you play Tasigur on turn 2, which is a big deal. Definitely think that that's a big deal. Like, if I was stuck not getting to put a threat into play here, I'd be in a much worse spot. How do you resub with Twitch Prime? You need to be on your desktop computer, or you need to log into Twitch linked to your Amazon account in the desktop web browser on your mobile device. And it looks like you're currently still sub, Jenny, so you have to wait for your sub to run out before you can re-up. Are we about to just get, like, goblined? Might be about to get goblined here. I'm pretty sure that's not true. I'm pretty sure Heartbeat makes the lands add the mana. I will have to Google it, but how long does it usually take for my deck to get accepted/rejected? I don't have a good answer to that. A few days. Usually I check it twice a week. Send messages back out. Do you have one sitting in there? I should respond to it more often. Oh, geez, there's a few in here. I'm so dumb. I need to get on in that. It's been a couple days, and today is going to be a long stream, so I'll check them tomorrow. I should have checked them last night probably, but we ended up playing Overwatch. My wife stole my garbage can from by my desk. It's really annoying. I believe GP Detroit's going to have coverage. It would be kind of absurd on Watsy's part for it to not have coverage. Can I take us through the process of how I rate a deck? Sure. I asked myself, do I think this deck is linear enough to consistently kill my opponent by turn 3? If no, I then ask myself the question, does this deck have enough pieces of key interaction to not die by turn 3 since it can't race? If it can't answer yes to either of those questions, I ask myself the question, is what this deck trying to accomplish really truly unique and sweet, and will we likely be able to accomplish it at least twice during a league? If yes, then I probably accept it. If it can't answer yes to any of those questions, then I usually just like send a message back saying, this is cute, but it's probably not competitive enough for Magic Online. I don't know. Just some amount of the time. This matchup impossible? Yeah, that too. That's also a factor. That is 100% a factor. How much am I going to get paid to play this? I'm gonna be honest and say that for $50+ dues, my requirements become less strict. I got you, Wee McGee. Happy birthday. Do we have any tools for this matchup? I just don't, right? They just like get to Violent Outburst away my Obzedat. I guess I could flip Obzedat into the bin. Let's see how it goes. Optimus dies. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. Now, if I'm going to be honest, the dollar dues don't make my brain go, huh, well, maybe. The dollar dues go, well, even if this is a dumpster fire and we 0-2 or 0-3 drop, that's like, you know, $50 for 45 minutes of my time. And $50 for 45 minutes of my time is a good rate. I am A-okay with that rate. It's a lot of 6-4s, opponent. It's a lot of 6-4s. Larynx! Thank you for the 31 months. That's so many months. Thanks for re-upping and welcome back. I do appreciate that. Alright, I've got Stubborn Denials, I've got Ensnaring Bridges, I've got this Detention Sphere. Collective Brutality is pretty slow and medium. Thought Scour is just like great here, right? Death Shadow is probably not very good, huh? I'm sure an Opt as well. Actually, Thoughtseize is kind of medium. I'm gonna keep my cantrips, try and find these. Sounds good, Spawn. I'll send the person that sent that deck in a message and let them know. If you're playing Blue Moon, you should try and play the blue-red tempo deck we've played a bunch on stream. The blue-red tempo deck is like a good version of it's the best Steam Vents deck right now, as far as like fair Steam Vents decks are concerned. So, need to figure out a way to actually win the game here. I'm glad we have 2 bridges, because the first bridge deck could be particularly useful because of this Ingot Chewer. It's not bad. It's a good chance they don't Living End next turn, so I'm just gonna go ahead and play this out. No, I don't think Blood Moon is good in that deck. I don't think Blood Moon is good in general in Modern right now. I think it's one of the reasons why Blue Moon's not good. I think the decks that Blood Moon is good against are not bad matchups for Blue-Red Tempo. The decks that Blood Moon is good against are decks that you're trying to cheese out of the game. Decks like 3 and 4 color mid-range decks, and 3 and 4 color mid-range decks are kept in check by the fact that there's 12 plus lightning bolts in your deck, and they deal a lot of damage to themselves with their lands. I think that's how you beat those decks. It's a heck of a hand. Your voice sounds weird at normal speed, yep. YouTube, I have to imagine YouTube 2x is like the only way most reasonable people can consume everything I make. Do you have a violent outburst? You do not. Sounds great. Alright, Ghost Dad, time to punch the clock and go to work. Get you on the flip side. Morning, Gutmeister, welcome. Why would I attack with Ghost Dad into their board of things that could block and kill it? I did forget to uptick Jace. You're not wrong. No, it does not have flying. Yeah, I should have upticked the Jace. The upticking the Jace is just me not paying attention. There's no tactical reason you are missing for not upticking the Jace, chat. The reason the Jace was not upticked is because I was not paying attention. You're not missing some big strange thing. I'm just gonna get more bridges out here, no reason not to. Nah, Maelstrom Pulse is pretty unlikely. I think it's far more likely that they go like Beast Within, untap, Shatter, and then kill me. Yeah, if they Maelstrom Pulse the bridges, like, they're just gonna kill us on the attacks. Like, there's really not a lot of reason. Although I guess we could just like flash back to Lingering Souls here, and then we're not dead on the attack, and we could validate holding a bridge. Yeah, maybe that is right. I'd see that being okay. So this should be at 9 right now if I had been paying attention. But I wasn't, because I'm a big dumb stupid. Alright, Ghost Daddy. I'm gonna give it to him. if the opponent has another Violent Outburst here, they might want to Outburst while Obzedat's in play this turn just to, like, clean him out. Ding. Yeah, probably want to play the last bridge. The mute icon's still there. It's just sometimes I'm just not talking. Still here. I play Spell Snare instead of Spell Pierce, so I think Spell Snare is the better card. Spell Snare is a higher impact card that doesn't become dead as the game goes longer. Spell Snare has targets against creature decks. It was actually the 4th bridge. They destroyed one of the others. People who have donation deck submissions in, I'm going to check those tomorrow. I need to make a point to do that more often. Probably set a calendar reminder to do so. Yeah, blueberries aren't allowed food. I've got a giant bowl of blueberries here that's got like maybe 1 or 2 more days in them before they're bad. So I decided to just like bring them all down to my desk this morning. Sure. Bottom that. Looking for a bridge here. How about Leyline of the Void? That's pretty bad for us. Do I listen to any podcasts? No, not really. You didn't have blueberries until you were 26? That's such a sad childhood. Blueberries are great. Our hand is a lot worse. Blood Moon, and K-Grip. I think I just take the K-Grip here, right? I kind of have Blood Moon covered. Yep, planning to do a longer stream today. Alright, Merfolk Looter, let's do it. Write a bot to approve or reject decks. Unfortunately, much like playing the leagues, accepting and rejecting decks is something I need to do manually. Learned a lot from watching your streams. Got back into Magic after a 5-year break. Thanks for the great content. Thanks for re-upping for the 2nd month in a row, Deadpool. I appreciate that. Oh, there's not a second basic planes in this deck, is there? How do I actually win the game under this if I don't have another basic planes? I don't have a good answer to that question offhand. I have 1D Sphere in my deck. Yeah, if I would have thought about these cards, if I'd have known these were coming in, I probably would have brought in the Fragmentize and the Disenchant. Well, Jace isn't going to flip check because there's a Line of the Void in play. So attacking with Lingering Souls is the line. That's something that can happen. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're probably going to have enough sweepers to play through. Yeah, they're probably going to have enough sweepers to play through our Lingering Souls, especially since we can't flash them back. Let's move along with their lives. Blood Moon. Blood Moon is exactly the reason why I would never play this archetype at an event that I cared about. While I don't think Blood Moon's particularly good in Modern right now, it's very good against decks like this. And I think the power level of what this deck is doing is not quite adequate enough to, like, the fact that it's gonna get got by things like Blood Moon. I don't really want to make anything work. I just play the decks that people pay me to play, Tucker. So we're playing this deck again because somebody sent in dollary dues. This stream is very viewer focused. Basically, everything we play on stream is driven by the people that watch and support me. So if you see us playing a specific deck a bunch, it's because people or peoples have decided that they want to see it. Hey, this is Jet paid for the run back this morning. Like, when this deck gets to do its thing, it's really sweet. I think as far as, like, interactive games of Magic go, it's, like, very good against a lot of the interactive decks in the format. See, hands like this are ones where I'm really not sure what direction I'm supposed to go. Like, am I supposed to be, like, shocking myself aggressively here when I don't already have the Death Shadow? Or am I supposed to be conservative because this could be a game where I don't draw Death Shadow? So honestly, I feel like that uncertainty is more awkward than, like, Obzedat with Death Shadow, if I'm being honest. Because, like, what if my draw step next turn's Death Shadow? Like, now I'm just, like, really far off from casting it because I wasn't aggressive with my fetch lines, my shock lines here. Now, unless I have an event coming up, if you see us running things back, it's because people paid to add them back in. With Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, Ensnaring Bridge Obzedat is an interesting... Oh my god, I just clicked through that. I thought it was gonna ask me... I'm used to the Ghost Quarter... I'm used to the Ghost Quarter prompt. That's unfortunate. No, that one's on me. I just wasn't paying attention. I'm gonna take their Crypt Incursion. I'm gonna fetch this now. Mill means I want to be aggressive with my health totals. I should be +1 lands here, so I should, like, be putting Lingering Souls into play right now, but I'm not because I clicked through that prompt. Yes, Time Spiral and 8th Edition are, like, the two sets that, like, whenever you look at a card and you go, oh, that's Modern Legal, you're like, oh, it's from Time Spiral, or oh, it's from 8th Edition. I don't look at decks while I'm streaming, Remicide. There's just, as my clicking the wrong prompt implies, there's just too many other things going on, and I'll make even more mistakes. So they can Trapmaker Snare for an Archive Trap here, and then Field plus Trap me, if they'd like. Is it an instant? It is an instant. Okay. Wild. I mean, Blood Moon and Ensnaring Bridge are both incredibly obnoxious cards, but they're very, very good cards. I'm probably thought scouring them this game. To be fair, Boyle's like in a really offensive card design as far as card design goes. That's an interesting card. Oh. Let's stand up for a little bit, get the blood flow going. Sure. Yep. I'm gonna Thought Scour them here, just 'cause I want to leave as many cards as possible in my deck. Who's the mill deck now, opponent? Bury them cards. Bury them cards. Nobody remembers Flash Fires because nobody cares about basic planes. What did I do before I was a full-time Magic streamer? I was a stay-at-home dad. Before that, I was a systems analyst for an insurance company. Before that, I was a college student. Now I'm a full-time meme and it's great. I got them all cut, actually. I felt like getting just one haircut was silly. Yeah, Bodhi's a project that I started during undergrad with some friends, and it's something I still maintain and use. Can I get a college degree to become a full-time meme? Yeah, probably. Actually, that's a fun story. There's literally a school that has a degree in online broadcasting now. I wish I was joking. What's a systems analyst? You analyze their systems, duh. Come on now. Alright. Ninja new masterclass, right? Study of meme history. Listen, the thing you need to know about higher education is that many schools are willing to take your money to give you a piece of paper that says you are qualified in whatever you want to be qualified to do. There was a joke at my old job. So during undergrad, I worked at a small theater that's at like 400 people. And when I say theater, I mean a performing theater, not a movie theater. And we'd have people come in all the time that had like degrees in audio engineering and stuff like that from, you know, schools like Columbia. And like you'd sit them behind the audio console and like they'd have no idea what they're doing and they'd be getting feedback all over the place and the music would just sound bad. It's just like there's a big difference between someone who's qualified to do something and someone who's capable of doing something. You can be qualified to do something and really not be capable of doing it. Very, very different things. Alright, we got a Vryn's Prodigy in the bin. Alright, what do you say? What do you say we put Poppy into play here and get a little frisky? I think Poppy wants to come out to play. We're gonna Goryo's Vengeance, whip the Jace into play here. Let's loot with the Jace. So, in my experience in today's world is that most places want both. They want both experience and a college degree. Alright, so that's going to stop me from thought seizing them this turn, which kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world. We still get to get our loot on. We get to bin the Obzedat. We get to Goryo's Vengeance the Obzedat back into play. So we get to smash here. Nope. Important that you stack the triggers. So Goryo's go on the stack first, so Obzedat's own trigger resolves first. That way he puts himself back into play. It's generally not everywhere that wants 5 years experience or experience like that. It's the places that have jobs that you want that much experience. There's lots of jobs that lots of people don't want to do a lot of the time that can get you some experience without getting any. The problem is you have to work for not a lot of money during those jobs, which is the crappy part. It's funny, we talk about like, you know, like I'm doing this as a job now, and in a way, the fact that I'm doing this as a job now fits the same kind of mold that traditional jobs follow. Because what's the word I'm searching for? I only have this job that I have right now because, in large part, I traveled around to play so many SCG tournaments. And like traveling around to play a bunch of SCG tournaments was a lot like an unpaid internship in a way. Like I didn't lose money doing it, but I didn't really make money. And the money I made definitely wouldn't be considered a wage, right? Correct. Yeah. Yeah, I played for fun and exposure. You can also get experience in CS like without a job, right? Like whenever people ask me like cuz I have a background doing some computer stuff, like the best thing you can do in the computer field is just write code. Do what you do, right? Like there's get a GitHub page, start some hobby projects and like put all that code up there for people to see. I didn't attack with the spirits because I knew they had darkness in their hand and they have this Mirror Corbin play. Alright, so Obzedat here will kill them on my next upkeep, which is great. How many top 8s do I have? If you count the old one-day opens, which in my opinion were arguably harder to cash than a lot of the 2-day opens are now, the way buys and like these other tournaments work. I think I have 13 or 14 open top 8s. If you only count the 2-day tournaments, I believe I have 9 open top 8s. So now they're dead on my upkeep. So even if they mill me out, they're just dead to Ghost Dad trigger. Well, I know, and like, you know, the 4 exposure stuff, it sucks to a degree, but like, honestly, writing for free to get exposure, that's how I got started in Magic. Like, when before anyone offered to pay me money to write about Magic and make Magic content, I made content because I just wanted to make content and posted it in places like Reddit and Twitter and on my blog and shared it on Facebook and with other people and asked them to share it. Like I did it for exposure. There's a balance, right? Like there's definitely people that like try to reach out to like established artists and people that like are making their income off of things, and like asking people who are established to like make you things for free to a degree is that's really crappy, right? But like on the flip side, you also need to be willing to like put the legwork in and like do some work to make yourself discovered in the beginning. Serum Visions is a really terrible Magic the Gathering card, and I like Opt much better. Opt feels much closer to playable. Sure, but you can also just say no. Like, if you're in a position where like you're making art and you're getting paid for your art by other people, there's nothing wrong with going like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I've got paying clients. This is my rate. If you wanna pay my rate, I'll work for you. Like as someone who currently makes my living creating stuff, I understand both sides of the coin. Like I understand that like yes, you want to get paid for your work because I'm getting paid for my work, like, but at the same time I also understand the idea that like getting coverage on things is valuable at certain points in your career. Sure. Surgical is really good against us, to be fair. We have a lot of graveyard strategies. The opponent has a Shriekhorn in play, and they just surgically extracted our Goryo's Vengeances. They missed the one in the bin, though, so Jace could potentially flash that back later. I opted to fetch now, because it technically gives my opponent one less chance to draw Archive Trap. Yeah, Surgical and Mill is different than other decks. I agree with that as well. I don't actually know what I'm looking for here. I don't know that we can race this Mesmeric Orb. I guess I probably should have kept the Shock Land, because it works me towards getting this Death Shadow into play sooner. You could see that being reasonable. Opponent's build of Mill is really interesting. Cards like Shriekhorn and Dream Twist are not what I've seen before. We just have a whole lot of nothing going on that could be good for us. Thoughtseize is a decent draw. Yeah, I totally should have kept that Flooded Strand. The fact that I can't play this Death Shadow yet really sucks. Manic Scribe and Ravenous Trap. So I'm dealing 2 here, but I'm also milling 2 cards at the moment. Yeah, Arena has an overlay. And by that I mean it has a community developed overlay. That's not something Wizards of the Coast created. Hopefully someone at some point does that for Magic. So we're going to be going down to 19 cards in my deck next turn. If we hit a shock land here, or a fetch with a shock left in our deck, we could be okay, because the Dust Shadow might let us win the race. Chassafish is a good draw. That is a good draw. What's the distribution model for artifact spawn? Again, if we're gonna crap on things here, you need to give specifics. What's the distribution model? And why is it bad? Articulate. Don't just be a mouth breather. We had them dead in 2, which is nice. Sure. So we get to hit them for 6 here, and then we hit them for 6 plus drain them next turn, so seems decent. I'm not going to cast this Lingering Souls because it requires me to mill 3 more cards, and I prefer that doesn't happen. Why don't you like the idea of a Magic-like distribution model for digital card games? Magic-like distribution model is great. It means I can go get exactly the cards I want without dealing with the nonsense BS. The Magic Online distribution model is way easier to get the decks that I want than it is on Magic Arena. Like, the reason why people use the Hearthstone model is because it's confusing for consumers and lets them easily lie about how much of the game costs to play. Or, like, make it difficult to figure out. Like, nobody can tell me, like, what's the dollar amount for me to build this deck in Arena. People can't tell me that answer. They can go, well, it's between this much money, and you have to do this to get the deck, and then cash these wild cards in, and then sacrifice a small goat on the altar, and then say a quick prayer to Mark Rosewater, and then you have the cards that you want. And then if you decide you don't like that deck that you spent all that effort going through to get, you can't turn those cards into other cards. You're locked into them. Good luck. Do it all again. You. Like, it's so silly. As someone who doesn't care about free-to-play, who's an adult with more money than time, I just want to play the games that I want to play, and I want them to be upfront about the cost of what's getting into it is. The reason why collectible card games have this idea that they're cheap is, or just dedicated CCGs, is because people value their time at 0 very often, when their time in reality is worth a lot more than 0. Is that why you're looking forward to Artifact? No, I'm looking forward to Artifact because I think it's going to be it has the potential to be a great game. I mean, I've played Hearthstone. I have a bunch of Hearthstone cards. Like, if the gameplay is great, I'm going to get past the distribution model being annoying. Like, but that doesn't change the fact that I prefer a TCG distribution model. It's actually, My Hearthstone numbers were very bad, and the Hearthstone gameplay didn't keep me engaged. So that's why I stopped doing it. It was a mixture of the two. Both the viewer numbers were mediocre, and the gameplay stopped being engaging for me. I actually really, and that's so, I really wish the Warhammer card game would come out of beta, because they're doing a lot of things that I really, really like. So the Warhammer card game, in addition to being a paper card game where you scan your cards in to the physical card games, you buy paper singles and play the game in paper, and then you scan the same cards you buy in paper into the computer to play digitally. In addition to that, they also have a CCG model where you buy packs and cards that are locked to your account. So they kind of get like the best of both worlds. They get a TCG marketplace for people that want it with the paper aspect of the card game that then translates directly to digital. But they also, at the same time, get the CCG market where for people that like that and like the dusting and crafting, that still exists too. And the gameplay's pretty good. I've been playing the actual game a lot. Yeah, Lightseekers wasn't very interesting to me. Lightseekers wasn't very interesting to me. The gameplay felt like it lacked depth and quickly became redundant across the different types of cards. How long did the scanning take? If you have a lot of cards, the scanning can be a little bit tedious. I think I spent like 90 minutes scanning in what was effectively like a booster box and a half worth of cards. I had like 30 booster packs. That's probably closer to like 2. I had like 20 to 30 booster packs and like 4 starter decks that I scanned cards out of. Yeah, it's really sweet. So this is one of the cards. So this is one of the cards, and it's got these divots around the side that every card has a unique selection of divots around it, and those divots correspond specifically to that card. So if you scan this card in the app, if it's not already claimed by someone, it adds it to your digital account. That's a card I've already scanned and claimed. Every card is unique. Every card has a unique code on it. Alright, so I think I scour and hope to land here. That's unfortunate. It's not exactly comparable to Pokemon, because Pokemon gives you a random booster with the random booster that you buy in paper, which is slightly different. The Warhammer card game gives you the exact same card that you have in paper in digital. Yeah, I'm talking about the new Warhammer card game. I have no idea on the details on if you can fake it or not, Warblazer. I have no idea how accurate the technology is. Okay, I'm just going to time you out. Again, you got to validate. It's a secondary market that's nightmare for scams because, like, if someone's offering to trade you a card, you can literally scan the card that they're offering to trade you, and it'll tell you if it's claimed or not. So this is actually really, really interesting. If this had been a Street Wraith, we would have been able to cycle it last turn, and we would have hit the land to stick this Tasigur on time. But it wasn't, so we couldn't. So the digital cards that you buy in the Warhammer game are locked to your account like a traditional Hearthstone style model. So the digital only cards are locked to your account. If you want to buy, sell, and trade, you need to buy the physical cards that go along with it. Yeah, we're trying things out, and that's why I said you have to, it's based on fantasy. So you want to check that game out. It's releasing on tablets later this month at some point. They're in a closed beta right now. I've been playing it on my tablet a lot. WarhammerChampions.com, that link is where where you can learn more about it. When they release, yeah, you can unbind cards from your accounts. Like if you scan a card in and you want to trade it, if you scan a card in and you want to trade it, you can scan it again to unclaim it to trade it to someone else so they can claim it. I'm going to be sponsored by Games Workshop in the future. Games Workshop did send me some free booster packs when they saw me tweet and tag them, but they did not pay me any dollary dues. So they have sent me some sponsored product, but I bought product before they sent me any. Like I played the game at Gen Con for the first time and had bought a bunch of starter decks and some booster packs there. So I was happy to get some free stuff on top of it. They're supposed to be releasing on the PC at some point, but I don't know that they have a timeline on that offhand. Are we dead? We're dead to Bloodcast here. We're dead to Collective Brutality. Yep. What's my favorite mechanic in the Warhammer card game that Magic doesn't have? So, unlike a lot of games, like even Hearthstone to a degree, and like games that work on a mana system, the resource system and gameplay in the Warhammer card game is just completely different from Magic. So there aren't really good direct comparisons between how that game works and like how Magic works, in my opinion. Which is a good thing. I like that it's just like a uniquely different game. Yeah, they aren't the way the games play out, they really aren't comparable. Morel, thank you for the 3-month resubscription there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Is this a Thoughtseize out matchup? This is probably a Thoughtseize out matchup, right? Like they're pressuring my health total enough that I don't really need this to enable Shadow. It is change, and change is scary. I know. The game itself is really, really quick though. Like here, the full rules for the game. Well, these aren't the full rules. These are the quick play. The quick play rules for the game that jump you into getting started are like 2 pages. I'm gonna make a short YouTube video at some point when time permits, explaining the basics of the game. Because when we're allowed to stream it, I'll probably stream a little bit of it. Is this a bridge matchup? You know, it might be. Yeah, it probably is. Actually, Souls is probably slow. Let's do this. It seems like not amazing, but it's fine, right? We can't cast the Tasigur particularly. I have this Disenchant at least. I've got that going for us. Alright, so we're going to bring in Fragmentize for game 3 if we get one. Because we need to play through Leyline. Honestly, this matchup might be the reason to play 2 Disenchants. Because Disenchant tags Hallowed Boy. But Fragmentize doesn't. So, the game itself, I've heard other people be apprehensive about Games Workshop too, and I really don't have any experience with Games Workshop personally. The Warhammer card game itself, well, obviously it's a Games Workshop IP. It's being created by a company called PlayFusion. So it's being created by another company with the permission of Games Workshop using their IP. That's a double Bloodghast. Woof. Yep. So, Seal of Primordium is a card that you can play out proactively, which means you could play it out using your non-basics in advance against a Blood Moon deck and let it sit on the table until they cast Blood Moon. Which has some value. I'm gonna shock myself here because I have this Shadow in my hand. Alright, so they forgot to bring back the Bloodghast at end of turn. Just gonna go ahead and path this, I think. Just get it off the table. Mostly because I was taking a hit from it this turn. The recurring threats, like, while they're recurring to a degree, eventually they're gonna run out of lands to bring them back. And, like, the bigger threats are more scary in the long term, I think. Cast this Op, cast this Tasigur. I'm actually in the market for a Thought Scour here, right? Like, I've got this Goryo's Vengeance in my hand. Like, wouldn't mind, like, flipping over a Ghost Dad. And punch the clock and go to work. Your match seems like whoever gets more lucky wins, whereas I don't know. Like, there's a lot of mirror matches in Magic that just, like, kind of suck, for lack of a better word. And there's definitely some historically that have a lot of play to them, but there's also a variety of them that just have very little play. This is another Delve threat. This is another big fish. We could be in trouble. The Hallowed One deck is absurdly consistent. Just for the I would like to be on record saying the Hallowed One deck is absurdly consistent. Ghost Dad! Puppy! Papa, can you hear me? Do 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 do. Give him the 1-2 ghost punch, baby. Give him the 1-2 ghost punch. Super popular is super relative. Like, in my opinion and in my experience, nothing is super popular in Modern. Modern's a format where lots of things get played constantly. No one thing really dominates in Modern. I'm gonna keep this. It needs white mana, obviously, but it's got a lot of good tools here. MTG top 8 uses Magic Online data, which means it is biased. Because Magic Online data is artificially diverse. Never didn't have it. MTG Goldfish, also biased because it uses Magic Online data. Wizards of the Coast thinks data is evil. So they artificially diversify the numbers to make their formats look more diverse than they are. And that's not me saying they're strictly a problem with Modern, or that Modern is bad, or that it's not diverse, but I'm saying pointing to those numbers as accurate shows a misunderstanding of what those numbers represent. Correct, Pokemon Nerd. There's the reason why their cards turn counterclockwise is almost certainly because Wizards of the Coast will sue people if their cards turn clockwise. MTGO data is artificially diverse because when Wizards of the Coast posts the 5-0 league results, they only post deck lists that are at least 20 cards different from other deck lists that are posted, which means even if 40 people 5-0 with humans, only one copy of humans gets posted in the 5-0 data. Immediately draw Death Shadow and get punished. Yes, it is all, I agree. And honestly, even if they publish all of the 5-0 data, that data still wouldn't give you an accurate representation of the complete modern metagame. It would give you an accurate representation of the decks that do well in modern, but it wouldn't give you an accurate representation of all decks that are being played in modern. Because guess what? Not every deck that's being played 5-0s every week. There's lots of decks being played that only 3-2 and 4-1 and 2-3. I don't know what Soul Flare Surprise refers to, so it's hard for me to have a formed opinion on something if I don't know what it means. Do I want to disenchant this? I already have an Obzedat in my bin. Does disenchanting this give me any value? I don't think it does. No, Watsy used to publish 3-1 lists back when we had daily events. Back when daily events were a thing, we published 3-1 deck lists as well. Yeah, I agree, Red Hand. That's why ideally we would get to see all the data. And for Aaron Forsyth, if you're watching the stream, all the data means all of it. Actually means all of it. I can't even imagine how many really sweet decks are being played out there that are just 3-2ing and occasionally 4-1ing that just have some really neat ideas, but just need a little bit of extra help to get pushed over the top. Right, Pimped Up Monk? What does all the data mean? Well, you see, when I say all of it, I mean all of it. Oh, the Grixis Hollow Flare deck? We're actually going to play the Grixis Flare deck later today. Another Delve Threat. Listen, Rossum. Modern is home to many powerful combo decks, and this is one of them. Whip my Ghost Dad into play here. Daddy's home and he's angry. Again, make sure you stack the triggers. So Goryo's trigger goes on the stack first, so Obzedat exiles himself. Yeah, Pimped Up Monk. The increased requirements are going to last until the deck queue is under 40. Brutal. Big fish on blocking, dude. I think a Baby Jace in the Blue Red Wizard deck. I think it's not an aggressive card, so thus it's not something we're particularly interested in. Remember, the Blue-Red deck is a burn deck at its core. Oh, that sounds really bad to Paris. The Grixis, I think we're gonna play Grixis Delver at some point later today. When I say later today, I mean like much, much later today, like 8 or 9 hours from now later today. And I really like the Grixis Delver deck. I think it's potentially very good. The Delver deck has Pyromancer in it. I guess you kind of call it a Pyromancer deck. Yeah, I'm saving Summoner's Egg for Monday. This card, man. This card. Am I playing it all this weekend? Maybe at some point. I don't know. I'm gonna do. We're gonna run long today. I'm planning to do another 12 hours today, and then I might pop on tomorrow night. I think Christy's going out tomorrow night, so I'll probably pop on after the kids go to bed tomorrow night. They have so we just like did they go somewhere and like forget that Obzedat was a thing? They have like a Doomblade for him or something? They have a Terminate? Wow, brutal. Puppy. The Grave Titan deck was donated with the explicit request that it be played on a specific day. So the Grave Titan deck will be played on October 5th. The person that donated 50 and asked specifically if I would play it on that day. So that's going to get played on that day. I almost certainly play more Modern than most people in the world. We play a lot of it. You're dead. Ghost Daddy's got your number. Alrighty. Well, what did we die to? We died to Living End. What was this first match? This first match was so long ago, I'm blanking on what it was. Dad got laid off. Thankfully, he came back and found more work. Yep, yeah, for the bigger donations, I don't mind jumping around a little bit. If I did it for every donation, it would become too hectic, but for the people that contribute extra, I don't mind. Don't mind being a little bit flexible. So we're 2-2. What are we? We 3-2'd with this on Tuesday. So hopefully we can win one more and be a real Modern deck again. Warhammer Champions. This is the link. They released at Gen Con last month. So they're still very new. Their paper product is very new, and their digital product is still in closed beta. It's supposed to be out of there sometime soon. Morning, Sapphire. Got a lot of sweet decks coming up today. The next one's actually really interesting. I like the next deck is a black-red Ensnaring Bridge Planeswalker deck, and I'm interested to see if the black cards in the deck feel like they solve some of the problems that the mono-red Planeswalker Bridge deck has. I signed back on yesterday, Carver. I came back yesterday afternoon after I finished my stint at the gym. So that is back on. That is on my YouTube channel now. We played Blue-Red Tempo and Blue-Black Berries yesterday. This deck's a little spooky, chat. Little spooky. Got some spirits. We've got spirit. Yes, we do. We've got spirit. How about you? You should follow me on Twitter and have notifications on when my Twitch goes live if you'd like to know every time I go live. We've only played Grixis Delver once, so the requirement for decks to get on my website is that I need to have at least a minimum of 2 leagues with them. So you can find the Grixis Delver list or something close to it linked in the queue. And you can also find the previous iteration that we played on my YouTube channel. So if you search Grixis Delver Modern Jeff Hoagland on YouTube, you'll see my video pop right up. Nah, I don't think Smuggler's Copter is that good. I think that deck doesn't really have enough things to crew it with super consistently. This hand has the potential to be very good if this Thought Scour is great. If this Thought Scour finds Poppy, we are gonna turn to Ghost at them. Why don't you replace Shadow with Delver in this deck? Savage Rocker, keep up the great stream, love the content. Thank you for re-upping at the tier 3 level for the 4th month in a row. I really appreciate that. Remember, tier 3 subs are exempt from the queue slowdown, so be sure to fill out the form under the stream to add a deck that you'd like to add this month, or if there's something already in the queue you'd like to bump up, you can message me that in private, and I'd be happy to bump that up for you. Thanks for the continued support. Which is currently the best placed deck in Modern. I think Humans is kind of... I feel like any objective, reasonable person is going to tell you that Humans is the best deck in Modern right now. The deck has an aggressive game plan that's also reasonably disruptive when it needs to be. Perfect Rocker will do. Sounds great. I think Hallowed One's a very reasonable deck, but kind of like by the numbers. By the numbers, Humans just like has more results. That's a Rift Bolt. Alright, Rift Bolt means we're fetching a basic island. Alright. There's no way Burn beats turn 2 Ghost Dad. So please, RNGesus. Please, RNGesus. Oh, man. Alright, so I'm gonna get basic Swamp here. And then we can get basic Plains with this Flooded Strand. One of the reasons why Humans is such a good deck is because I don't think there's any deck that's a full hard counter to Humans in the way that there's a full hard counter to a lot of decks in Modern. Humans is both a popular and powerful deck because it really is kind of a great 50% deck in the format. It has, and it's not even a strict 50% deck, because like it's really good against things like Ad Nauseam and some other things like that. Elves is decent against Humans, but it's not an auto win by any means. Like Elves versus Humans isn't like, I don't know, you know, like a control deck versus Tron or something like that. I think we're dead. Like Collective Brutality, like right now. GP Detroit is Team Modern, Team Unified Modern. Which for those of you that don't know what that means, it's a team constructed tournament where everybody plays narrow Modern decks. Are we lagging? I don't know. It feels like it's just doing moto things. We're only at 1.5 gigs. It doesn't feel like it's choking. Moto's never quick. Moto's never quick. Reanimated Jace and minus to path. Yeah, that's a good line. Forgot about that. I guess we're doing this now. I forgot we had the path in there. Oh, I also could have blocked here, right? I could have blocked and then flipped him. So we're going to 6 here against Burn with 3 cards in their hand. What's the worst that could happen? You know? I always thought those commercials were so dumb as a child. They're so funny. You wouldn't download a car? Let's be honest. There are lots of people out there that would download a car. We should be honest with ourselves. And for those of you that are too young to remember those commercials, that was a real thing that they went on television and said. Everyone would do it. Yep. Am I dead, Jit? That's true. Yeah, with 3D printing, we could feasibly be downloading cars someday. No joke. Lingering Soul's probably too slow here. No, Thoughtseize is bad. Let's trim that. Run it back. Okay, but 500 bits towards Bant Spirits. Always, Hemfu. I appreciate the support. Just a good reminder for everyone that every 100 bits you donate or dollar you cheer, you are welcome to bump a deck up in the queue by that much. Thundering Bumpkin, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Everyone out there is having a good Friday. Hanging out. Got over 600 people here this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. We're doing a long stream today, so this is our first deck of many. I think I'm planning to do 7 or 8 decks today, so don't be sure to go anywhere. Hopefully sometime next week I have commissioned some Hoaglandia themed sub and resub and donation notifications, so we should have some bring the whole blending of Hoaglandia here together. Never subbed before, but does Amazon Prime. So Amazon Prime subs for streamers are identical to the tier 1 subs. So on my end, I get the same amount of support from Amazon Prime sub as I do from a $4.99 subscription. Hemfu, thanks for sending your Bezo bucks this way this month. I appreciate the support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff. When will the tokens be available? I need to poke Inkling and ask her when she's going to have them up. Hopefully, they should be soon. She's got the art. Well, actually, I don't know that, actually. I don't know what her printing process is like. Remember, YouTube viewers, be kind and rewind really helps out the other YouTuber. Yeah, if you're one of the many pieces of scum in the world that's not rewinding your YouTube videos when you're done, make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. Would some amount of gifts ungiven be good in the circuit? So fun fact. When I played this deck forever and a day ago, Gifts Ungiven was something that we played in the archetype. Do I have a display? Do I have a display of the tokens? I can post the artwork here. Where is it? These are. We've got three different pieces of myself depicted as the Jester of Hoaglandia. There's that one. There's that one. And there's that one. So they're sweet. She did a great job with them. I'm very happy with how they turned out. Fun fact, there is already a Bio Company deck in the queue. Yeah, that's going to be a Monday deck. My immersion won't be broken due to peso bucks. I got you, Sandman. I got you. Ooh, Collective Brutality. Commission a picture of you being held like a baby by a Resto Angel. Gifts on Burial Rites isn't strictly another deck. If you look way back at my YouTube archives, gosh, that might be circa 2016 even at this point. If you look for Esper Goryo gifts, Jeff Hoagland Esper Goryo gifts, you'll be able to see a bunch of old videos of a deck close to this with gifts ungiven in it. You'll also be able to see the stark contrast between what my content is today and what my content was, 2 years ago. What am I doing here? I think I want to hold this Brutality for now. I'm just going to put a Watery Grave into play tapped here. I want a token of Jester Jeff taking Stoneforge Mystic in prison, talking to Stoneforge Mystic in prison through telephone. The Pauper gameplay is really, really grindy. And while I don't know that that's strictly a bad thing from a competitive standpoint, I think from an entertainment standpoint, I'm not sure everybody wants to grind all the time. And when I say drop in quality, I'm not even just referring to having this be nice and having the banner ads nice below me and stuff like that. There's also a definite drop in quality in the way I handle myself and approach streaming and interacting with people in chat for a long time. I've always been very no nonsense, but I was definitely more rude about the way I presented myself being no nonsense in the past. That's like the Big Lebowski quote. It's like, you're not wrong, but you're still a jerk. Mondays are now dedicated to nonsense, right? God bless us, everyone. Yeah, definitely barcode killer. And it's not even just the swearing, right? Like when you hear people that get upset about suggesting we don't use certain words because they're just not nice to people. I've been there. I've used those words. I grew up in the same culture they did where this is what you did because this is what everybody was doing. And it's just I am capable of personal growth and change though, and I can recognize the fact that, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. Maybe that's not okay. The 17 mana 3 card Belcher deck combo is going to be great. Alright, so what am I doing here? Am I casting this Collective Brutality? If I get Skullcracked, I feel kind of bad, but I don't really have a line. I think I'm just supposed to play this Collective Brutality. Play Belcher at the Invitational. I am not raffling off my deck at the Invitational. It's just not something that's happening this time through. Oh, I can bin the Jace, and then I can flip him to Goryo's Vengeance, right? Where am I from? I'm from Central Illinois. Nah, I think Essence Flux, the biggest trap people fall into when building decks in Modern is playing a bunch of individually weak cards in their deck. Just like, play better Magic cards is basically what it comes down to. Don't play mediocre cards. Play individually powerful ones. Moldy Toast, thank you for the brand new Prime support there. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think we're actually working towards being in the clear here, right? Like, they have double Eidolon, but like this Death Shadow just like kind of locks it up, right? That's not true. They have Path to Exile. SCG cut meter is odd. Please make it even. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate the support. Yeah, maybe I should have just kept Path up this turn. I do get to double drain them this turn, which is nice. So they have Eidolon, and then one card I don't know. It's another Goryo's Vengeance. It doesn't really accomplish anything for us though, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do kill this thing, drain you. Now I like getting the Jace going proactively because it gets him to 6 that turn. So now like I'm gonna get to like down tick twice, right? I get to down tick this turn on a Brutality, and I get to down tick next turn on a Brutality as well. So like now they're gonna be dead to the drain from the Brutality next turn. Goryo's Vengeance only targets legendary creatures, so Goryo's Death Shadow is not a legal game action. They realize they need to kill the Jace. Obzedat. Goryo's Vengeance also lethal. I'm only going to attack with 3 of these. I'm going to leave 1 back just in case. This attack means I still have them dead with just 2 spirits next turn, which I think makes it a good attack. Favorite deck in Modern at the moment, Blue-Red Tempo. Deck's a lot of fun. Plays a sweet game of Magic. Alright, well, we got a game 3 here. They stumble and bumble a little bit. We can potentially have a good time. After this deck, we've got a black-red Planeswalker Prison deck coming up, and then we've got some black-white zombies, Sultai Shadow, a Mardu Shadow Burn deck, Grixis Soulflayer, and more. Lots of sweet things coming up. Yeah, I think Humans is still the best deck in the format. It's not the best deck by a huge margin, though. Favorite deck for my entire Magic career, Temur Flash from Innistrad RTR Standard. Not close. Gosh, this hand is absurd with the second land. It gets to Brutality, ditch Papa, and then whip him back into play on turn 3, so... We do only have 19 lands in our deck. Come on, Goblin Guide! Yay, Goblin Guide! I believe in you! I believe in you! Yay, Goblin Guide! Woo! Goblin Guide! Alright, well now we just get to ditch Obzedat to hand size here. And then put Obzedat into play on turn 2. Yep, now we just, you know, ditch him to hand size. God bless, God bless, God bless. Puppy! I think I'm pathing this turn. In terms of power level, I think it's fine. I think the offending card in humans, if there is an offending card in humans, is Cavern of Souls. I think Cavern of Souls is a pretty obnoxious card. Even as boring, put this towards the SCG con goal. Thank you, Willem. I appreciate the support. So, hey, that bad control player. Please make that SCG con fund odd again. Ah! Everybody's rushing to make it odd. Well, it's technically even, but it's not divisible by 5, right? Yeah, I was actually going to say, I think I wanted Brutality to clear a path here, right? And I think with Tassafish in hand, I'd rather hold on to those. If we get Skullcracked here, I feel a little bit bad, but like, Obzedat's going to demand Skullcracks every turn too. Yeah, it's very difficult for us to lose if Obzedat stays in play. Deflecting Palm, Skullcrack. Huh. So do I... Huh. I think I just take Deflecting Palm, right? The rest of their hand, like, doesn't really push damage. So next turn, I can whip back Ghost Dad and then put Tasigur into play as well, which is kind of great. Yeah, they both kind of do 5. I agree with that assessment. How you doing, Taylor? Welcome to the party, friend. Daddy's home. Bum ba dum ba dum ba da 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 da. Bum ba dum ba bum ba dum ba bum ba dum ba bum 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 ba da 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 dum bum 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 ba dum ba bum bum ba dum ba dum ba dum bum ba da bum ba dum bum bum ba dum bum bum ba dum ba bum 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 ba da 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 dum bum 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 bum. That bad control player coming through with the $1 donut. Let's try again. Try again. Let's zoom in so we don't misclick here. If only some kind of computer program could remember the size of what I had zoomed to. That would be so convenient. Get to leave my Lingering Souls in there. Smush, Poppy, smush! I believe. I believe in a thing called Dad. They're on chump blocking duty next turn. They need Path to Exile like right now to have a chance. Even then, they're not in an amazing spot. Puppy! So they chose not to play Eidolon out, which is interesting. They draw another Skullcrack. Okay. Okay. That could potentially steal them the game, right? Oh no, I guess we have it locked, right? Like, because their last card is Eidolon, and they have to chump block here, and I get to flashback Lingering Souls as a blocker. So they just have, like, 0 outs, right? Sweet. Finish up another 3-2. I mean, even if they top deck a bridge, they're still gonna die to Ghost Dance triggers very quickly. Papa don't care about no bridge. Modern's a 3-2 format. Every deck. What's this deck's win percentage? 60%. Just like every other deck in Modern. Neil Drox with the $5 dono. Black Green Rock, please and thank you. Will do. Thank you for the support. And you did. Those are like impressive wins too, right? Like we beat the burn deck while they were on 2 lands and 3 lands. Deck Uno, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine. So the more I play this, the more I wonder, is Death Shadow really what we want to be doing? The awkward tension, I think the Death Shadow is like super underwhelming in that league. And it was like okay in the first league, but that league it was pretty underwhelming. I think if I were to try this again, the direction I would probably want to go is I would take 2 of these and turn them into 2 Gurmag Anglers to have, 8 threats that can beat them to death quickly. And I would probably turn these other 2 into like some more discard spells. I think I would split 3 Thoughtseize, 3 Inquisition probably. Because having a critical mass of 1 mana spells helps feed your Delve creatures consistently. Angry Land, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome. I don't think Snapcaster Mage is really what we're looking for. I think I would play 1 mana discard and I would play more Delve threats. I think is what my conclusion would be. And then, like, again, the appeal to playing this as opposed to a traditional Death Shadow deck is this card's really hard to kill. This card dodges Fatal Push, it dodges Lightning Bolt, which are 2 of the 3 most played removal spells in the format. It's got some sweet redundancy. It gets to generate some really awesome card advantage, not only with Jace, Vryn, Prodigy, but also Lingering Souls. And honestly, I think having access to Ensnaring Bridge is a big deal. I think this is one of the more obnoxious cards in Modern. So getting to play this card in a deck with a bunch of other very reasonable Magic cards seems really decent. So yeah, I think my wrap up would be I would play 2 more discard spells and I would play 2 Gurmag Anglers. I think would be my changes if I wanted to play this Esper Vengeance deck again. All right, what are we doing next?